So this is one of my favorite types of trimmer heads. I've used this one for forever, for over 10 years. And these things are just awesome. This is actually made by Echo, so it's really well made. It's very well engineered, but I just love this design so much. Kept asking myself, is there some way I could improve this? I was also kind of wondering, can I make this thing myself? So I went to the hardware store and I was looking around. I was like, man, what can I make this out of? I was like, should I just get a bunch of metal and just kind of machine it, weld it together, just kind of fab it? But I started looking around and I found some stuff that really surprised me. I was like, this stuff actually looks similar in shape to this. I'll show you what I found. So what I found was this cap. It's a PVC cap for like a PVC pipe. It's like a 3-inch cap. And I think I paid like less than $3 for this thing. And the shape of it's really cool. It's just kind of like the shape of a trimmer head. I was like, I bet you I can turn this thing into one of these cool trimmer heads. Now I'm gonna make it basic at first. I'm gonna try to just make it kind of copy that design and see if it works. But really, I want to really make this thing a little more powerful and see if I can really up the productivity of it. So I don't know. We'll see how it works. It could be a complete fail. We'll see. But I've got a good feeling that we can make this work. All right, so this thing's got a nice square, and I kind of like this idea because I think it's going to be easy for me to make a nice little center mark. It kind of has like a tooling mark here where it was made at the factory, but what I'll do is just make an X across here and find my center, and then I'll just drill my hole to attach to my trimmer, which I need to verify the hole size before I get into that, but I think I'll go ahead and start lining up that hole, and then I'll figure out a hole pattern for my string. As you can see, this has threads. It's made to thread on the end of a pipe. I'm not sure if that'll interfere with trimming or working in the yard or anything. So that's what we're doing here. It's just a test. It's not a better way to do than the Echo brand is definitely better engineered and tested. So this is just a test project just for fun. So we'll see how it goes. All right, now I got my center. Now I can get my drill and pick up that hole right there. Just gonna start off with a small drill bit. It's a 1/8 drill bit. I know it's gonna have to go up to, I think, 5/16 to attach to my trimmer, but I'm gonna start with this size. All right. Did not want to drill into my table, so that's good. Awesome. Oh yeah. Pretty. Looks good. This project I think is a little too simple, but what's better than simple, right? I just want to make something that works, that's not so hard where you can't duplicate it, somebody can't try it. So, all right. Now I'm going to figure out, well, I've got this 1/8 drill bit. I kind of want to figure out where I want my holes to go for the string to come out. So I think what I'm going to start with is have 2 areas, one on each side, just like a normal trimmer would have to have my string come out. So I'm just going to come right off that hole. I'm going to make a little mark here. Oh, that's not quite lined up. That's good. That's good. I'm going to go on the inside. This side's got a nice lip. I think it's going to be perfect. Okay. What I'm actually thinking is I'm going to do a single hole and a single hole. I may go back and do more for a different design, but it's always easiest to start with the most simplest. So I'm just going to put one hole there, one over here. I was actually thinking about doing 2 holes, but we'll see how it performs when we start putting some pressure on it and some RPMs at it. So drilling through these threads might be a little tricky, but it's plastic, so it won't give us too much trouble. It's plastic threads. That's why it's nice to start with a small drill bit first, work your way up. Okay. See my hole here? It's got Sharpie on it, but you can kind of see it. Let me put my drill bit in there so you guys can see where it popped through at. So there's not a whole lot of room there. Okay, so I'm going to do the other side. Well guys, this is my first video using a wireless mic, so just bear with me. I was hoping to cut down on some of the noise away from what I'm doing, but this may not be the best setup for that. Because there's barking dogs, there's cars, school buses, all that good stuff. So, all right, now we need to verify the size of the trimmer attachment. Okay, got my trimmer set up. Now I'm gonna take off break this nut loose. It's supposed to have a cotter pin in there, but that cotter pin flew the coop at some point. Who knows where it is? It's probably in another state. I used to mow lawns in Oklahoma. I'm in Texas now, so that cotter pin is probably not in the state. It's kind of funny to think about. So it's reverse threaded. So to take it off, I'm going to turn it to the right. Try to hold this still. This never feels right working with something reverse threaded. You always think you're about to break something. Let's see, I'll let you guys know what size of socket this is, just for 17 millimeter. It's good to know. It's a 6-point. Cool. That didn't give us much trouble, but I did take it off not too long ago, so it didn't have too much junk in there. So now I'm just going to find a drill bit and kind of compare it to the size of this hole. There's a little bit of play in there, so I'm not too concerned with having this extremely tight tolerances, but as best I can do. So I'm thinking I don't have the exact size drill bit, but what I do have is a grinding bit, carbide. So what I can do is get close. This is actually a wood drill bit that's broken. It's pretty close. I know these way too big. So what I can do is get the biggest drill bit I have, pick up the hole, and then open it up enough where it fits over the stud that's over there on the trimmer, because this should work. I wish I had the right size for you guys to tell you what size to bring up the hole to. I don't have a good mic to mic that. I have to call one of my machinist buddies and ask them to borrow their mic, but I don't have one. Okay, well, those are 5/8. I was kind of thinking it's 5/16, but I could just dig around here forever looking for the right size. But it's PVC, so it's going to be not something that we're going to get a really tight tolerance with. So I think this is a 1/4-inch drill bit. We'll just go ahead and drill this size up. Man, that feels like it's... This must have been one I drilled through some concrete with. Got frustrated. Set that right there. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. What I could have done is probably used one of my spade bits. If I had a 1/4 inch, or 1/2 inch maybe. It's a half. Because I think a spade bit would probably go through PVC pretty well, but it's all good. I think I'll just dive into it with this nice little tree. Call these a little die grinder. Little carbide, which actually, it's almost the right size. See if I can get the right lighting on that so you guys can see. Almost the right size, so we'll just get after it with this thing. Doesn't smell too pretty. Melting plastic. Set that in there. And as I go, as I'm coming along here, I'll just set it up to my stud on my trimmer and just keep opening it up till it has a good fit. Oops. Wow, it's grabbing. See, what I need is a nice little block of wood. Okay. Lots of scrap wood, and finding that perfect piece that has a little indentation in it may be a little challenging. That's all I have to do. Good grief. Guys, don't be stupid like me. Okay. Could try to clamp that down. All right, we're clamped. We're good to go. Hopefully this doesn't get too squirrely. I don't know if it's the heat that makes it grab or if it's just the regular friction. All right, I got the camera so you guys can see a little test fit. So now I'm going to slide this guy in here. So looking here at the Echo model, what they've done is they have a special little mechanism inside. It's just a piece of metal with a spring, and it only allows the string to go in one way, so it traps it. So you put the string in and you can't pull it back out. It's real simple. But for our design, we're going to do something a little different. So we're not going to mold, like took a very special mold to make this and to sandwich that little piece of metal in there. So what we're going to do with ours is basically we're going to tie a knot. Going to tie a knot on the end and then just slide this in here. And that centrifugal force is just going to keep pressure and tension and keep this locked in there, and it's not going to come out, hopefully. So that's the plan for now, is just a very simple setup like that. If we were to be trimming around some chain link or something like that, I know it tends to grab your line and rip it out of your machine, so we'll try it like this, and if we need to make a modification, then we will. So to make a nice knot in this really thick line, I'm going to put a nice piece of line in here with a knot in it, and then I'm going to pull it really tight with some heavy duty pliers and really lock that plastic, lock it together. It'll be a really strong bond, or the knot hopefully will not come untangled won't lose our line. So not sure how much line to use. So we'll make it kind of extra long for this first one. Go ahead and tie this, make just a little loose knot. You could never pull this thing tight enough with your bare hands. So I'm going to tighten this thing down. Now I'm going to take these heavy duty pliers and just put a lot of tension on here and get that knot nice and tight. Yeah. Now hopefully that's plenty tight enough. All right, guys, let's get this put on. This thing goes on so simply. Just tighten up the nut. Now it's supposed to have a cotter pin, which I should have got one when I was out getting this fitting, but I didn't. So we'll just try to keep it under 100 miles an hour. Keep her safe, somewhat safe. With this trimmer, it never really, you're not really working with some extremely high RPMs. So what's kind of interesting is the square back here. If I needed more torque, I could actually grab this with a big wrench, if I needed to, but we don't need a lot of torque on plastic, so just so it doesn't come loose. Okay, that's snug. Now we're going to put our string in. Of course, that's way too long. I'll do another little view of this, but it's actually way too long than what we need, but it's a nice starting point. All right. Now what's cool about this is you can pre-make these. You can pre-make a whole bunch of these and keep them with you as you're mowing. Just keep a couple extra in your pocket. That way if you break one or lose one, then it's really quick to change out. But right now we're just testing this. This may be some flaws in this little design, but we'll see. All right, let's give this thing a test. I did a little bit earlier without my microphone on, so I had to go fix my microphone so you guys could get some better sound. And all right, let's go. guys, I'm gonna go down through here. I'm gonna just clean up all this edge and try out this new little project I made. So far it's working out really good. Hopefully it holds up, and check my torque on my nut after we do a little bit more work. Man, that turned out pretty cool. I think that's going to be awesome. Yeah. Nice clean edge. I mean, just worked like a regular trimmer. That was so cool. All right, I'm just going to clean up the rest of this, make a nice little edge around everything. And I'm gonna sit back and review this little project and take a closer look at it. Kind of curious to see how it held up on the bottom, but we'll see. Let me just clean this up. What I'll do is turn this thing over, turn it over on the side and edge with it. See how that goes. Well guys, I think this little creation was a success. It turned out so cool, so easy. Very simple. The whole thing could have been made in 5 minutes. It was just unbelievably simple to make this. Like, everything is intact, just the way it should be. The string isn't broken. It didn't come out. It didn't try to pull away or anything. That centrifugal force just kept it right where it needed to be. So everything worked great, and I think I'm gonna step up to a thicker line. I used to run a real heavy line in my trimmers because I had something, you saw my other one, my Echo one, and I would probably put the maximum size line I could. But I noticed that kind of line has some pros and cons, having it that thick. It does last a long time. Well guys, thanks for watching this project. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit that subscribe button if you liked it, and comment down below what you think about it. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you on the next build.